for coming to Coping with Crisis, Israel, Gaza, and What Happens Next, the first ever Haaretz Conference in Canada in collaboration with the New Israel Fund Canada and JSpaceCanada.
At a time where despair feels easier than hope, and silence safer than speaking out, a convening like this is not just valuable, it is urgent.
It's been a very dark past week, on top of a very dark past few years. But I'm so glad you're here, because of what we're going to do together. Caring for both peoples is not contradictory. It's simply being human. Indeed, it's at the heart of Jewish values.
We're losing our ability to speak frankly and openly in conversations about being Jewish, about anti-Semitism, and about what we have watched unfold in Israel and Palestine since October 7th.
This event is an intervention into who represents Canadian Jews.
Because what is at stake is not abstract. It is people's lives. It is the moral fabric of our community. It is the very future of Israel as both Jewish and democratic, and the future of Palestinians who deserve self-determination, freedom, and dignity.
We together, Jews and Palestinians, must offer an alternative. And the alternative, the only alternative, is to end this war of annihilation and to bring a political solution that will prevent the next war and respect the national rights of both peoples in our shared homeland.
A ceasefire must happen now. Hostages must be released immediately. Humanitarian aid must flow like rivers into Gaza. And a two-state solution cannot be taken off the table. A safe and secure Israel will be one that is alongside a Palestinian state.
If you don't have a Palestinian state, you don't have a Jewish state. They go together. I think one should not be afraid to say so.
We're in a situation so extreme that it's hard to find the words. People are dying every day. Gaza is being destroyed every day.
The government does not tell the public the truth. Netanyahu has announced a clear, decisive victory, which is around the corner. It didn't happen. He said that Hamas refused to make a deal regarding the hostages. Well, in fact, Netanyahu himself is against the deal.
What will be the relations between Israel and the wider Arab world, Middle East and so on, very much depends on who will govern Israel. If the path of the current crippling annexation will continue, if there will be the continuation of the significant rise in the lands that are being just given to the violent settlers, and the settler violence will continue, and the idea of the expansion, whether it's Gaza or the West Bank, will continue, nobody will come.
Most Israelis want peace if it means security, but Netanyahu's government wants to continue an endless war and occupy Gaza forever. That's not security, that's madness. Both Israeli and Palestinians deserve security and a future worth living for.
Now 2 years since October 7th, and David and his brother Ariel are still there. Still, the hostages are tortured and wasting away in dark tunnels. Soldiers are sent to die for a war with no aim, at least not one the majority of Israelis want.
Our government use our defense forces not for the purposes of the defense of our country. And because of this, we are facing what we are seeing. The protest movement now is the only force that symbolize the real Zionism, the real values of the Jewish people. I was monitored, I was beaten by the police, I was injured by the police. This is democracy.
If I would comment on if there's a connection between the erosion of democracy that's happening and the war on Gaza, in the eyes of the current government, I think for them, democracy and Gaza are just obstacles. in their project, and it's preferable that both are removed in order to continue.
The only solution for the situation is to replace this government, and we need to do it as soon as possible.
This event is important in this moment precisely because it has become the biggest platform for Canadian Jews and Israelis determined to end this war.
Spaces like today's discussions are essential to creating more possibilities.
Dialogue across differences has never felt harder. And yet, what we witnessed here today is proof that it is still possible.
And I am so profoundly proud of what we are doing here and everyone who's helped make it happen. Thank you so much for being here today.